We have the story from CNN. Food is more expensive than it has been in decades. CNN, a broken clock, right, twice a day. Bad news for American consumers. It's getting more expensive to dine out and getting more expensive to eat at home. Restaurant prices spiked 5.8% over the last 12 months. Ending in November without seasonal adjustments, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said Friday. That's the largest 12-month increase since the year ended January 1982. And unfortunately, for those hoping to curb spending by turning to home cooking, grocery store prices are also at record highs. They jumped 6.4%, the largest 12-month increase since 2008. Beef had the most dramatic increase with a 20.9% spike in prices. So let me ask you guys something. What do you think was the catalyst for the Arab Spring? Do you know?
This one worker who was having a hard time making ends meet, and because of the government fining him and regulating him, he ended up committing suicide, and his story went viral. Yeah, that's the essence of what I understood it to be from some of the stories that I heard. But I think, Tim, you'd know a little bit more about this.
Yes, I got the name wrong earlier. It was Mohammed Bouazizi. I'm saying that wrong?
Bouazizi?
I remember this guy.
Bouazizi.
Yeah, he immolated himself. He was trying to, I believe what happened was he was trying to sell fruit. He was born on 29th of March, 1984, and the government kept interfering with his ability to make a living. And eventually he couldn't, so he just went in front of a government building and dumped fuel on himself and immolated himself. And this sparked the protests in Tunisia, which started sweeping across these other parts of the Arab world, resulting, as many believe, in the Arab Spring. There were some experts who reviewed why it reached the point where people were willing to overthrow their government. And there were a few key factors, one of which was...
inflation.
Yes.
Unemployment.
The price of food.
Yeah.
So people could no longer afford to eat. What happens when someone can't eat?
Oh, they get crazy.
Do people just say, well, I got no food, so I guess I'll just lay down here and die?
Well, I mean, they do have Ramadan.
Choosing...
Fasting is good for you.
It's okay. I'm Muslim. I can make these jokes.
Yeah, there's something different about, choosing, because when you choose to fast, you're in control and you're in control.
Right.
And the food's waiting for you.
Yeah, you don't know exactly when. Oh, totally get it.
And you can prep your body, too. Like
Right.
in the day before, you load up on whatever you need for the week or for
overnight.
the day or whatever.
Yeah, and you fast from sunrise to sunset and no water.
But
People
people
forget that.
Dry fast.
Yeah.
people often say, especially in the super chats here, they tell me that, one of the things I would love to stand up and talk about these issues, but I have to make sure my kids have food. So the wager right now among many of these people is that by complying with the tyranny and what they're doing with mass spending and, everything that's burning the system down, their kids will eat for a longer period of time than if they were to stand up and speak up. Because then their kids, they could get fired and they can't get food for their kids. Mm-hmm. I think what drives people towards, revolt and conflict and crisis in a country, civil war even, they can't feed their kids.
Yeah.
And it's partly about themselves.
I mean, what was the first thing? I mean, the first things is like food on the table, roof over your head, and a place to sleep, or something like that. What's that order?
I think it's safety. I think it's
safety.
food, shelter, and safety.
Yeah,
security, like the things that cause massive stress.
Right.
If you can't eat, you're panicking.
Well, obviously the first one is safety, but I'm just saying
in
terms of
the
like
first one is food.
Yeah, maybe we're conflating things, but I meant like the usually the goal, like when you're trying to provide for your family, the first thing you always go for is food on the table. You can't provide food on the table.
Yeah, then there you got nothing.
You're screwed.
But at least you have a table. But then if you have no table, now you're cold, you're scared, and then there's violence, or the police are threatening you.
Yeah.
You have no safety. People just finally snap.